Hey guys, MCU Collector here with another figure review. Next up is the Hasbro Marvel Legends series, the 2-pack Hasbro Pulse exclusive Spider-Man, the animated series VHS set of Spider-Man versus Vulture. This was an exciting one. We had seen some leaks, or there had been leaks floating around about a young Vulture figure coming out. During Hasbro PulseCon 2024, it was officially revealed that this is the last Spider-Man the Animated Series VHS set of 2024. Dan Yoon has confirmed on Twitter, X, whatever it's called, that they will continue the Spider-Man animated series. So there is still hope for the animated series Chameleon. I can't imagine that they not do Chameleon at this point. Give us a Blue Punisher. Give us Nick Fury. Give us a Man Spider figure. Let me know who else you would like to see in the Spider-Man animated series. But here we have Vulture and we have Spider-Man. So the Spider-Man figure that was exclusive to Walmart on the retro card, the cel-shaded Spider-Man figure that not everybody could get, is now not the only red and blue Spider-Man figure for the animated series. So now people have the chance to get this guy. And this one is a bit of an odd choice, if I'm being honest. We have the Renew Your Vows body. We have the Amazing Fantasy body. This one is an older body. But it is still an awesome figure. So even if it's an older one where we don't have the diaphragm, we have the standard ab crunch and waist swivel, even though it's an older figure, don't let that fool you. This is still an awesome, this is still an amazing Spider-Man figure. Absolutely. So because of the older body, don't think like, oh, I'm not going to get it because of the older body. You should still absolutely get this if you don't have it. Or if you need the Vulture figure, you're going to get the Spider-Man figure. So still a very good Spider-Man figure. Vulture is good also, but there are some things with the shoulders that I don't like, so I'm going to have to heat it up, and hopefully that's going to work out. But looking at the box, we have Spider-Man versus Vulture, so we get the awesome artwork by Harry Moore, looking very good. I had the original Toy Biz animated series figure of Vulture when I was a kid, and I loved it. So it's cool that we get that here. Looking at the side, we see the two characters. Looking at the back, we get the two looks at the figures. And then the VHS 2-pack side by side. There you got Spider-Man and Vulture facing off there. So very excited. We got Vulture, we've got Spider-Man. Let's go ahead and get in for closer looks. We'll start with Spider-Man and Peter Parker and Flash Thompson. And then we'll take a look at Vulture young and old. But first, I'm going to heat up the shoulders on this guy because those are stiff as hell. And I'm worried that I'm going to be warping and stressing out the peg that's inside the bicep. So I'm going to warm those up. Hopefully things work out a little bit better. Hey guys, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and help me reach my goal of 50,000 subscribers by the end of 2024. We are so close, a little under 3,000 to go, and I think with your help we can make it. So hopefully with this video I can earn your sub. Hit that subscribe button now. Alright, so let's get this out of the way. I heated it up. The shoulders work so much better now, although it just, because it's all still warm, I kind of got everything a little bit gummy, but I was able to get the shoulders up a little bit more because they were super stiff and I wouldn't be able to get them up to this level had I not used hot water to kind of warm them up. But the shoulders, they're still a little stiff, and because it's so warm, it's still a little gummy in there. It's not naturally like that. It's because I heated it up. But the shoulders, I definitely am not a fan of. With that being said, I love the figure. Yes, the shoulders are a problem, but I just love what this figure represents. It's just super nostalgia, all nostalgia for me, because again, the Spider-Man the Animated Series is what got me into Marvel, got my interest in the comic book world of things. So I just absolutely love it. So having the Vulture from the animated series just makes me so happy. We have the young version here, and this looks pretty good. It looks pretty comic accurate. Not comic, show accurate from what I can remember there. So it looks good. His hair might be a little light, I guess. Let's pop that head off because we get two head sculpts. We also get the older Vulture. And one thing about this one is I don't know. I mean, yeah, he looks older because he's got the wrinkles and stuff. But it just doesn't have the same level of detail like we got with the comic Vulture figure. Because the comic Vulture figure, one thing that was really cool about that is look at the head sculpt. Look at the detail that they put into it. Like with the liver spots and things like that. I don't know if he had that in the show. But he just looks a lot older and stuff. I'd have to go back, in the animated series and see, did he really look all like kind of smooth like this? Because he's got some wrinkles, but he doesn't look like super old, right? But anyway, I think that looks pretty good. I almost want a second Vulture figure. That'd be weird, right? To have the two versions, because it's not like they're two separate characters. You know, he's either young or he's old. But in the animated series, if you're not aware, you know, Vulture, what he did is he stole youth to keep himself young. So he would end up looking like this, young Vulture. So that's kind of how he did things. Looking at the figure, we get this greenish color. I feel like it could have been a better, like if the whole figure was the green of the gauntlets and some of these armor pieces and like this head piece, I feel like if the figure was that green or a darker green, this looks more like a aqua type green to me. I think it would have been better. But again, I'd have to go back through, like if you look at the box artwork, it's more of a green. No, I think the lighting through the video. Anyway, but it's more of a green, and so I think that's what kind of throws it off. I would have liked to have seen another green, but I still love what the figure represents. You see the big old peg holes in the arms there, and those are going to be because of the wings. And I believe these are even the same gauntlet pieces from the comic Falcon figure. So the wings are the same. They're the same as like the comic Vulture figure, and then the same as the Falcon pieces there. So there's that. One thing that I never really noticed before is there's no calf swivel on these. So these are new legs because we are pinless here, but there's no calf swivel, which is a little bit odd. I don't mind that there's no calf swivel, but it's weird that we got new legs because I don't recall these being used anywhere else to where we don't have the calf swivel. We do have the thigh swivel in there. And one thing that's cool, these are like keyed in. So like the X-Men figures where those bands aren't going to slip around and fall off. They're keyed in there, so they're not going anywhere, which is nice. And the same with the armor pieces, as you can see. They fit snug on there because the body is actually sculpted for those pieces to fit right in. So that is pretty nice. Vulture also comes with open hands there, and then he also has a pair of fists. So we get the two heads, an extra set of hands, and then we get the wing pieces. And plugging in the wing pieces is very easy. You have your left and right, so actually on the wing itself you'll see here, like right there, it's L, so that is for the left. So the long piece goes on the forearm, and then the shorter piece, let's see if this is the L, that's the right. The shorter piece then goes there behind the bicep and just plugs in like so. Now, over time, what could happen is these can come a little loose and they can fall out. So they're just friction. They're just, stick in by friction. Over time, the plastic could wear. So try not to pull these in and out too often, only when absolutely needed. And then when it comes time, you can like probably glue them, pop the glue, put them back in, use some more glue. It probably wouldn't be an issue, but just a heads up on that. The wings themselves are pretty thin and like the bluish tint to them. I wish these would have been a little bit more green because it almost looks like translucent, like towards the edge, as you could kind of see how it looks. I just wish for more green, but they do look good and they work out well. Looking at Spider-Man, and Spider-Man is awesome. We get the Peter Parker head sculpt. I have to double check. I'm pretty sure this is the exact same one on the Peter Parker and Smythe 2-pack. And that one looks pretty good. But let's pop that off. Let's put the Spider-Man head on there because I love the way the eyes look. And I did not check, and I'm not sure if it's the same head sculpt from that animated series. It does not look like it's the same head sculpt. Yeah, it's definitely not because the size, I don't think, works out. The lenses definitely look bigger. As you can see, it's a bigger figure, obviously. But the heads are definitely different. Yeah, because the back of the head looks a little bit different too. But I like it. I like the head sculpt quite a bit. We also get this cool thing. This is the first time that Hasbro has done this sort of thing. We also get the mask, so where if he removes the mask, it's all flattened out and he can hold on to it, which is pretty cool. So we haven't gotten that with Marvel Legends yet, so that is a first. In terms of other accessories, we had the Peter Parker head sculpt. We also get the Flash Thompson head sculpt. The reason for this is because in a particular episode, he wears the Spider-Man suit. I don't really remember that, but that's what happens. So you could pop that Flash Thompson head sculpt on there. And there you go. If anything, I think it might look a little bit bulky, a little bit big, but that works. And then I think X-Man, he actually popped this Flash Thompson head sculpt onto an Agent Venom head. It sits, I think, a little low, but I think it works. So you can have like an unmasked Agent Venom if that's what you want to do. It's animated series based instead of comic based, but it could work. Let's pop that off. Let's get the Spider-Man head back on there. and I really like it. Looking at the blue, I like that it's kind of a dark blue. It's a darker blue than the Walmart exclusive retro card version there, but it's not too dark a blue like the Renew Your Vows Spider-Man. I brought out all of the top Spider-Man figures that we've gotten. So like here's the Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends, which is regarded as probably one of the best Spider-Man figures. You can see it's a darker blue. There we have the Renew Your Vows Spider-Man, which is a very dark blue. And then the first retro carded Spider-Man there, which was a slightly darker blue and a darker red. So this one, again, I really like. We don't have the diaphragm cut. We don't have the drop-down hips. We don't have the inverted ab. But again, this is still a very good Spider-Man figure. And I want to stress that, yes, it is not that newest body. But this is still a great body. I mean, look at these butterfly joints. Look at how far back you can get those arms. That's crazy. And then with the ab crunch, you can crunch forward somewhat. You know, it's not the greatest. It's not terrible in any way. And then you get the swivel at the waist, which can, you know, look ugly. But again, this is still a good Spider-Man figure. We are pinless at the elbows and the knees, so you don't have the issue with like the retro carded one where look at that. Look on the inside, you got these big, huge red pins over the blue suit. So it's a nice update. So if you missed out on any of those other Spider-Man figures, you know, this is one to get, and you get a cool Vulture figure to go along with it. So, you know, there you go. And let's go ahead and check out the articulation now. Okay, so for the articulation portion, I brought out the blue background so you could probably see a little bit better. But anyway, Spider-Man, you can get him to look all the way up. You can get him to look all the way down, which is good. Full rotation in that head, and you actually do get a tiny bit of pivot, which is pretty good. The shoulders are great. The shoulders you can get to go straight on out like so. You get a full rotation in there. Butterfly joint that, again, goes super far back. And then coming forward, you can get some good crossbody in there. You got an upper bicep swivel, double jointed pinless elbow like so, wrist swivel, and they do hinge. And I think I just remembered, I forgot to go over which hands Spider-Man comes with. Spider-Man comes with whip hands for right and left. He comes with fists for right and left. He does not have wall crawling hands, but something that we don't typically get with Spider-Man figures. He's got these standard grip hands. And the reason why he has the grip hands is because he needs to be able to hold the mask. Boom. So if he removes the mask, actually he would probably pull it off like this, right? And hold it that way. So he can hold the mask. So that's what we got there. The ab crunch on Spider-Man. So like I showed you earlier, he can crunch forward that much. He can go back that much there. You got the waist swivel in there. Legs go out that far apart. They are not drop down hips. You got the upper thigh cut in there. Double jointed pinless knee. Beautiful bend there at the knee. You got a calf swivel right there. Foot hinges all the way down, hinges up a little bit, ankle pivot, peg holes at the bottom of the feet. Not as much as the Renew Your Vows Spider-Man. That is the better figure. Yes, I don't want to confuse and think like, oh, this one's the best. It's not, but it's still really good. Like, I don't think this is one where, because it's not on that ultra articulated body, that this isn't a good figure, because it absolutely is. So I just want to make a point that, you know, it's a good figure. Even if it's not the most recent, newest body. Still a very good figure. Next, we're going to move on to Vulture, but I'm going to pop these wings off for this portion because the wings are just going to kind of get in the way a little bit. Anyway, Vulture can look all the way up, which is great. So if you're getting him into flight poses, that's not going to be a problem. He can look down that much, get a rotation in that head. Not a whole lot of pivot going on in there. The shoulders, again, stiff shoulders, but you can do the T-pose as I started out the video with that. These armor pieces are a little bit rubbery, and there is some separation in that, so you can really work that shoulder up a little bit, so you can get it to go out that much. You can do a full rotation, again, because the armor piece is just kind of sitting there, so it's not too stiff or anything like that. Upper bicep swivel in there, double jointed pinless elbow. Let me get that one there. So that much bend there at the elbow, which is great. Wrist swivel, and they do hinge. Standard horizontal hinge on the open hands as well as the fists. Ab crunch, you can crunch forward that much, which is pretty good. You can crunch back that much there. You got a waist, waist swivel in there. Legs go out that far apart, which is pretty good. He can kick forward that far. The leg doesn't really go back. You got that upper thigh cut in there. It's more at the mid thigh, but you got that swivel in there. Double jointed pinless knee gives you that much bend there. No swivel at the calf. Foot hinges down that much. You get some good hinge up. Ankle pivot, pegals at the bottom of the feet. And I think I forgot to show how far forward Spider-Man can kick. He can kick forward that much. The leg goes back a fair amount there as well. So that is the articulation for Spider-Man and Vulture. A good 2-pack that is currently in stock now at Hasbro Pulse. Okay, so let's get our side-by-side started off. So here we have the old Vulture from the animated series next to the comic Vulture. And I like the greens of the comic Vulture a little bit more, but I like the figure of the animated series a whole lot better because it's a way better body. We're not gummy-ass legs or anything like that. So it works out well. The shoulders, I think, were a problem on this one, too, because the shoulders were, like, massive. I think too big for that body. But you can see they are the same exact wing pieces. They pop onto the arms the same exact way. But this Vulture, again, uses like the arms from the Falcon comic figure because, you know, the gauntlet pieces and things like that. But animated series Vulture, very nice. The old man head sculpt of it, I don't think looks as good as the comic, what they did here, because this is just amazing. Still looks good, but I think I'm going to go with the younger version as the permanent. Okay, the ultimate side-by-sides, I guess, Spider-Man stuff. So here on the left, right here with the lighter blue is going to be the new animated series Spider-Man. This one here is the Renew Your Vows Spider-Man. This is the original retro Spider-Man, which kind of kicked off that ultra articulated body. We're going to slide this one over here. We're going to slide this one over here. We're going to center this one a little bit more. We've got the animated series version right there. That was on the retro card exclusive to Walmart, where the hands, I think, were too big for that figure. And then here we have a different animated version of Spider-Man. This is the Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends version there. So all good Spider-Man figures, and I would say these are probably the best Spider-Man figures out of the bunch. And I don't think he is the best one, if I'm being completely honest. But I think he is a damn good figure that I think, you know, I recommend picking up, especially because you're getting the Vulture out of it. Renew Your Vows Spider-Man is going to be amongst the best, but if you can get the Amazing Friends, Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends like figure, that's really the one to get, or the other Amazing Fantasy Spider. We have a bunch of really good Spider-Man figures, I think, the point here. But this one stands with them just as good. So, you know, rest assured that you're going to get a good Spider-Man figure out of it. Okay, another comparison is actually the Symbiote Spider-Man from Spider-Man Animated Series. This is the first Spider-Man VHS 2-pack that came with Carnage. So it's a cel-shaded version, so I kind of thought they were all going to be cel-shaded in the line and stuff, and that did not turn out to be the case. But we have 3 different bodies to represent our Animated Series Spider-Man, and I think the one in the middle does a good job representing Spider-Man because he was a little bulky. You know, he wasn't real thin like the Amazing Fantasy Spider-Man would kind of have you believe. And since this one was the first one to kick it off, this one was a weird choice because we went from a larger body down to a smaller body. And then looking at this one here, I think proportionately it really reminds me more of the animated series. While I would have appreciated this body more, I think this does have a good, accurate representation of kind of his size and how he was built and drawn in Spider-Man, the animated series. But that is the better body, for sure. Okay, so again, I wouldn't have thought to do this on my own, but I saw X-Manny87 had posted it. So here is the Flash Thompson head sculpt on the Agent Venom body. I think the problem is because of this overlay, it looks like, you know, he's got no neck. That's kind of the case, but it does pop on there nicely. It's just because of everything that's going on that it just kind of makes it tough. Now, if you don't know, this Agent Venom figure is not a great figure. It's really old. It was a Walgreens exclusive. It uses a really old body with like ball hip joints, and it's just not the best. It got the anti-Agent Venom had a re-release using the same body, and it's still not great. But hey, we have it. Maybe one day we'll get a new, better Agent Venom. Okay, so that's my review of the 2-pack. I love the 2-pack. I love Spider-Man the Animated Series. Bring me every single character from the show in this VHS box set. We've got dream characters like Mary Jane Watson from the Animated Series. We got Aunt May. We got Doc Ock from the show. Now we got Vulture. So what more could we possibly get? We need Chameleon. Who else do you think we absolutely need in the Animated Series line? You know, there's a mix of retro carded, get some, like we got Black Cat, we've got Kraven, we've got Venom. Who else do we need? Blue Punisher, Nick Fury. I'll take a Nick Fury. we've got Morbius, we got Doctor Strange, we got Daredevil. Who else? You guys let me know down in the comments below who else you think we need to get in Spider-Man the Animated Series. Chameleon number one, and then Blue Punisher. I want a Blue Punisher. Give me Blue Punisher. Hopefully Blue Punisher. We had Daredevil in a 2-pack. We had Doctor Strange in a 2-pack. It would make sense to put Blue Punisher in one of those. Give us a Blade to go with that, to fight against that Morbius. Give us Man Spider on a retro card. Make it a deluxe. I don't care. You guys let me know what you think down in the comments below. This, as far as I know, this set is still in stock, so link in the video description below if you're looking to pick it up. It is exclusive to Hasbro Pulse, and I love it. Hopefully you guys too. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. If you guys like this video, please do me a favor and hit that thumbs up button. Subscribe if you haven't already done so. And as always, thank you for watching.